Hello everybody and welcome back to another video by Blissful Techno Health. In this video I'm going to show you how to install and configure a brand new hard drive. Sorry this format looks a little weird. I'm actually going to show you what's going on in the PC, how we're going to install this brand new hard drive and configure it in Windows. I've got this 8 terabyte hard drive here. It's a Western Digital 8 terabyte hard drive. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so here's my PC, and we're gonna want to shut it off before we install this, but I want to show you when you're installing one of these hard drives, it's serial ATA. So you've got your, sorry it's dark, serial ATA connectors here. Okay, this is your data port right here, and this is your power port right here, okay? So you need to make sure you have a data cable, a serial ATA data cable. Sorry the lighting's so bad in here. I've got my kids' phone sitting here with a flashlight. And you're gonna wanna make sure you plug in this data cable. And when you get it in here, you should have some power cables, if you can see that one right there, already attached to your power supply that you should be able to use. So my hard drives have to go in here in these slots. I've got some brackets here that I'm gonna use to install the hard drive. So let's get this thing shut off and go ahead and get her installed. So yeah, always make sure your computer is off before you install anything internally in your computer, because if you don't, chances are really high you're gonna fry your motherboard, and you don't wanna do that. Okay guys, so here's my 8 terabyte hard drive. Sorry, the camera angles aren't the best. I've got these little adapter units here. Okay, so I wanna plug these in with the pin on the outside. Now, when you're handling a hard drive, you actually want to be really careful. I'm being a little rough on this. They're very fragile. You don't want to mishandle a hard drive. You're going to treat it like an egg that has a little crack in it. So you want to treat them very, very carefully. So don't be shaking it around or twisting it fast and hard or anything, or dropping it. The drive can go bad. You don't want to do that. Okay, so you want to handle it very gently, like it's like an egg with a crack in it. I got my brackets on here, so now I'm going to go ahead and just move this out of the way. You know, I'm actually going to drop this down here kind of low, and as you can see, I put the brackets on so that the connectors on this side of the hard drive are going to stick through the back of this case. Now every case is different. Some cases you're going to want it like this, okay, but this one has cabling that can go around behind. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this drive in there just like that. Okay, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I've got the phone here, just holding with one hand kind of up against the wall behind my computer. This is the back side of my computer, and this is a jumbled freaking mess of cables. Normally you kind of want to organize this a little better than I have, but I'm just really lazy, and it doesn't really matter in the long run. So I just took that cable I showed you earlier. This is my connector cable, okay? And I'm plugging that. This is the hard drive that I just slid in. And I showed you earlier, you have the power port and the data port. So I'm going to plug this end into the data port. And you can see it's got that little L shape on it. And that's going to line up. It's keyed. So you have to get it on right. So I'm going to slide that in on there. And now I've got this power connector just hanging out here. So I'm going to flip that around. And it's keyed as well, just like the other one. And we're gonna just plug it in. Now this I've got to wrap around through this mess up through the front so I can actually plug in on the board in that other spot. Okay, so here's the drive I just plugged in. Okay, and here is where I've got to plug it in on the motherboard. Okay, I can't show you what the connector is. It's the exact same thing as on the hard drive, but sometimes they face this way, sometimes they face this way. A lot of times it's better if they face this way so you can come up from behind and plug in, because sometimes you'll have graphics cards that sit over the top of these and you can't plug in if they come up from here on the top and there's a graphics card covering them up. So it's actually good that it's facing this way. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that cable in really quick. Okay, so I got my cable here. Sorry you can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm just going to plug it in. Pow, right on one of those ports. So I've got power and data plugged into here, and I've got my data plugged in from here into the motherboard over in that spot. So we're physically installed. Okay, so I have the drive physically installed completely. My computer's booting up right now. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to configure that brand new blank slated hard drive. Okay, you guys, so now let's configure that hard drive. What we're gonna wanna do when we have the hard drive installed is we're gonna wanna come down to your start button and right click. Now this is the same if you're on Windows 11. You right click. Right click on the start menu for Windows 10 and Windows 11, and I believe Windows 8 as well. And come up to disk management. Okay. Disk management's gonna pop up and it's gonna show you this drive. Okay. And you know which drive it is. Sometimes it'll actually come up with a pop-up and say, hey, this drive isn't allocated. And let's configure it. In this instance, it is not. So, but pay attention because the configuration should be the same. So you can see here disk 5, 8 terabytes, unallocated. Unallocated means that space, we haven't configured it yet. So we are going to want to right click on that blank space that's unallocated, and we're going to click on new simple volume. It's going to run us through the wizard. We're going to hit next. It's going to default to the max size. Just hit next. Don't change that unless you want to create partitions for whatever reason. Assign the following letter. Gosh, now I'm going to give this one, I don't want it to be D. Actually, you know what? D is going to be just fine. We're going to do it on D. And next, we're going to call this, I don't know, biggest backup. We'll just call it that. Okay. So we're going to do a quick format. We don't want to do a full format. If we do a full format, it's going to take forever. And it's not necessary because the drive's already freaking blank. It's brand new out of the box. So don't need to worry about that. Leave all this to its defaults settings. Just give it a name. Quick format. Simple. Easy peasy. Next. Finish. It's going to format. Just takes a second. Boom. It's done. And it just pulled it up by default. Now my Dropbox is popping up. Don't ask me again. Java update. Okay, so now my drive is assigned the letter D, and here it is. So now I can take all my data and move it and copy it over here. I needed this hard drive because I don't have everything backed up on these two hard drives. So if one of these hard drives were to go bad, I'd lose all of my data. And they're both pretty full. So I'm gonna move all this data, copy it over here, and just once in a while copy it over. Make sure my stuff's backed up. But that's how you set it up. It's super easy. Just install the drive, just be careful with the drive, handle it carefully, and make sure to come to disk management and configure the drive like I showed you. It's that easy. If you guys have any questions, just shoot me a comment down below. I hope this video is helpful for you if you're setting up a new internal drive. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.